Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We meet again a couple of months. Right. Okay, today we are going to talk about the research that has been highlighted in the Ganoderma magazine issue 99. Oh, okay, next one. Okay, our topic today is on Lingzhi that can improve hyperuricemia in animal and cell studies. For your info nowadays, because of large data statistics, most drug development, they just use computer to stimulate their cell studies and to progress further into drugs. All right. So animal and cell study is still the very basic. Oh, all right. Let's go on to the introduction. Okay, what is hyperuricemia? Hyperuricemia occurs when the uric acid level or the urate, urate is ion in the blood that is higher than normal. So in a male, in a typical male is 7 milligram per deciliter. Right, when it's a high uric acid level, there's a risk that you will develop into gout. Of course, not necessarily high uric acid will develop into gout, but the risk is there. It may develop into kidney stones or chronic kidney disease, diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases. All right, it's the fourth most common basic metabolic disease with an occurrence rate of around 3 for every 1,000 people. Right, the causes of hyperuricemia are generally because there's an overproduction of uric acid in our body. Our kidney is not able to excrete the acid, or we fail to pass it out. Right? The uric acid fail to pass out. Right. So regarding treatment of hyperuricemia, basically you go to a doctor, they'll say, control your diet. Don't eat this, don't eat that. Right? And they may give you xanthine oxidase inhibitors like allopurinol, fexbusostat. These are basically drugs that inhibit uric acid production, or some uricosurics that helps you to increase uric acid excretion, help you to increase your urine level. All right, next. However, these drugs generally have some adverse reactions, as most typical drugs, because drugs are all artificial. Right, because it's only through artificial production that you can arrive at the components, or else it will be very small. Right, so it can cause gastrointestinal toxicity like lao sai la, stomach lao, that kind of thing, liver la, kidney damage, bone marrow suppression, and this affect their long-term use. Therefore, of course, the need to develop a new drug that has lesser side effect that can be used for prevention and treatment of this hyperuricemia. Lingzhi has been a traditional Chinese medicine that has been used in China and Far Eastern countries for a long period of time, and because of its extensive medicinal value, right? And recently there was a research by L.L. Jiang, that indicate that uric acid can be reduced by Lingzhi through regulating its uric acid transporters. So this set off the interest in the study of using Lingzhi as an alternative treatment, right? So the Department of Pharmacology from the Peking University School of Basic Medicine explored further and want to know what is the mechanism of Lingzhi that can reduce uric acid production and excretion, right? Right. Let's look at a little bit on uric acid. Next page. In Chin-Tong, next page. Chin-Tong, next page. Uric acid basically occurs naturally in the body, right? When our cells split and divide. But most of the time, uric acid comes about because of the food we eat, and our body breaks down the purine. The food that we eat are things like all those spare part lah, red meat lah, seafood lah, alcohol lah, high fructose fruits lah, drinks lah. These are all the one that when we consume already into our body, it will all break down and cause more uric acid, right? So our liver, bone marrow, and muscles are all involved in the production of uric acid. Like I said just now, uric acid basically is natural in our body because it breaks down. And at the same time, our body also breaks down, like the liver breaks down the food that we consume, right? So, and at the same time, excretion and reabsorption of uric acid rely mainly on the kidney, right? High uric acid level cause crystal, right? Formation of crystal, and they subsequently deposit around the joint area. That's why you have the gout, arthritis, stones, all that kind of thing, right? So it is this problem that has more negative than positive lah. Uric acid level actually is positive. Small amount of uric acid is necessary in our body because it's actually antioxidant, and it helps in type 1 type 1 immune system. All right, small amount lah, all right, but when it's large amount, this is what happens. It leads to the formation of crystal, and it forms gout, and this can be very painful. Right. So uric acid basically dissolve in our bloodstream when we consume. Our body breaks it down, plus the natural production of uric acid. It will flow into the bloodstream, and then you'll go to the kidney. It will pass out as urine, right? About 70% of it, and then some of it pass out through our poo. All right. Now this regulation in uric acid production, if you end up producing more, every day you eat all this kind of rich food, all that kind of thing, ultimately you have gout, correct? If your transporter or not excreting enough, right? So it will result in hyperuricemia. Okay, next. Okay, let's look at the study. First, the study look at can Lingzhi helps in uric acid metabolism. All right, so they have Lingzhi extract. Here I have is called Ganoderma lucidum polysaccharide peptide. Right, I think it's our YKI on metabolism through non-targeted metabolomic analysis. There's a big data that I talk about lah, using all the big data. So they have two groups, mice as a control. They only just given them saline, and the mice, another group of mice, they give them 50 grams of polysaccharide, right? And of course, other food as usual are the same. Then continue for 30 days. After 30 days, collect their blood for analysis, right? They show the metabolic analysis show that there were 349 metabolite difference between the two groups. And when they do an enrichment analysis, they found that 16 of these metabolites are related to purine metabolism. Metabolites like adenosine monophosphate, which in short is AMP, adenosine, and adeline, which are significantly elevated after GLP treatment, all right, the polysaccharide treatment. So therefore, the conclusion of the study is that GLP treatment result in changes in purine metabolism. It affects purine metabolism, okay? So that's the first step that the study has established. So now that they have established that there's a purine metabolism, next they want to look at what is the mechanism of action, right? Next page.
Okay.
All right, to establish the mechanism of action of polysaccharide on hyperuricemia, next page, Shintong.
Yeah, okay.
The study induced hyperuricemia in mice with potassium oxalate. This is a common chemical used in the study of hyperuricemia lah. It is a uricase inhibitor, something like similar to what the drugs are doing, and a mixture of hypoxanthine and potassium oxalate for 2 weeks. Right? After 2 weeks, the mice were then randomly divided into 5 groups plus 2 groups of control. Right? That's the usual one. 1 control, no treatment, no inducement. 2, no inducement plus only pure 100%, 100 milligrams of polysaccharide. Then 3, hyperuricemia group, where it is potassium oxalate fed with 60 milligram. Garbage injection, 600 milligram of potassium oxalate, or the hypoxanthine and potassium oxalate, 300 of each. Right. Then after that, you have 3 groups of polysaccharide, low, medium, and high dosage. Right. Then of course, and the final group will be the group with drug treatment. All right. Okay. Then they will continue with this treatment for another 20 days. Right. And on the 21st day, that means 3 weeks, they collect the urine output, the blood serum, the liver and kidney tissue for analysis. Right? Next page. Mechanism of action, the result. What's the result that they arrive at? Okay, the results show that the model was a success because when they induced the mice with potassium oxalate, if you look at the right chart, the column, the 3rd column from the left, right? See, pure PO, the blood uric acid level has gone up as compared to control. Okay? Be it C or D, you see the 3rd column, from the left, you see the blood uric level all gone up. So it's considered a success. That means they have managed to induce hyperuricemia in the mice. Whereas just a pure 100 grams of polysaccharide, the blood uric level is actually lower than control. This go to prove that the first study on a pure metabolism of uric acid was also possible, right? You can see from the second column on the left, right? Then they find out that feeding the test subject, the mice, with polysaccharide, right? The uric acid level was reduced by about 40% as compared to control in a dose-dependent manner, right? Look at chart C, huh? Chart C, this is talking about chart C. On the test subject, Lingzhi polysaccharide treatment reduced the uric acid level by about 40% in a dose-dependent manner. So you look at, of course, when you talk about dose-dependent manner, you look at the chart on the chart C left, the sixth column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth column, you can see it comes quite close to the control. All right, although the drug is much better lah, huh? And but you see the chart on the right, the column D. Okay, there was a very small changes in the blood uric acid level. All right, what this indicate according to the study is that Lingzhi's path to reduce uric acid production was not through the xanthine oxidase pathway. That means degrading the purine by breaking down the protein produced uric acid, but through another pathway. All right, that means it has a different pathway to reduce. All right, first, the study proved that there was an effect in reducing the blood uric acid level, but the blood uric acid level was reduced in a pathway that is not through the normal XOD pathway. Okay, right. We look at what is the actual pathway. We look at the second result. Okay, then of course, they check on the next pathway to see whether Lingzhi could have taken another pathway. That is through the adenosine diminished. That means the original part in the liver, this such enzyme in the liver that helps to metabolize the purine. Of course, ultimately, they will all lead to, the final result will lead to purine production, be it ADA or the XOD way. All right, the XOD way is halfway through, but the ADA from the very start, from the liver, it already reduced the production. All right, the results show that the GLP-1 significantly reduced the activity of AIDA in the blood serum of the mice. All right, in the blood and in the liver of the mice. Okay, if you look at on the chart on the right, the A and B is the way you can see, right? Third column, induced uric acid level, the serum AIDA was high. So after 100 milligram per liter of Lingzhi polysaccharide, you can see that the blood serum IDA level has gone down below, even equivalent, lower than the drug level or about the same as the drug level. All right. In the liver, it's also the same thing. It also has gone down and close to the control and even lower than the drug. The drug is the last column on the last column. So, but if you look at the chart, the C and D, the XOD pathway, you can see that the changes were very minimal, right? So that's why I wrote down here. In contrast, Lingzhi polysaccharide only affected the blood serum and liver XOD oxidase activity in the mice marginally, right? So this indicates that Lingzhi polysaccharide's way of reducing uric acid production is through inhibiting from the very start the IDA activity in the blood in the liver, right? The XOD is halfway through lah, huh? So in another word, Lingzhi improves the decrease in cell viability caused by high uric acid level. So high uric acid level causes the cell not to able to do it, but they are able to do it. Okay. Okay, I mean, in a sense, Lingzhi, like what we have been saying, Lingzhi improves the cell viability. Okay, that means instead of you have a disease, the cell is about this. Let's say, you see in a very simple term, it's like dying. No? But with Lingzhi, the cell come to life. Right? Okay, next one. Right, then we next look at the uric acid transporter. Like just now I was saying, you know, high uric acid level depending on production and transporter. All right, so already shown that production, Lingzhi polysaccharide can lower production of uric acid in the body. Next, we see whether Lingzhi polysaccharide can improve uric acid transporters. All right. So basically, kidney is the important organ to absorb the high uric acid level in the blood, because after we have the body breaks down the purine, it will flow in the blood. The blood will then go to the urine will then absorb the uric acid and pass it out as urine. Okay? So, in the kidney, the one that involved in absorbing the uric acid is called urate transporter 1. And at the same time, it's also glucose transporter 9. These are involved in absorbing the uric acid from the blood and then pass out in the urine. All right. Then also excretion naturally is another transporter called OAT13 and ABCG2. These are the transporter to help the kidney pass it out. Right? These two, you see the urate 1 and the GLUT9 absorb it, and these two pass it out. All right. So this regulation in this transporter will of course result in either you have hyperuricemia or hypouricemia. Right now, one is absorption and the other is passing out. So if you fail to absorb all fail to pass out, that means it doesn't balance. Okay, right, next slides. Right, so what is the result of the uric acid transporter? Okay, the study noted that PNO treatment reduced urine urate output. So you look at the 24-hour chart A and B on the right. Right, after 3 weeks of treatment, okay, Lingzhi polysaccharide reduced the urine output, or rather increase urine, or increase urine, to use the term, increase your urine output. All right, then the urate output also has gone up. You can see here the chart on the right, A and B. Right, column 3, the third column, the one induced, the urine dropped down to the lowest level, right? With 100 milligram of Lingzhi polysaccharide, the level of urine output has gone up to even more than double of the control. That means after taking urine, Lingzhi polysaccharide, they pass out a lot of urine. Okay, and when you pass out a lot of urine, naturally the urine urate level also pass out a lot, as you can see in chart B, right? Compared to the drug. So they analyze, they look at it. Why is it that it's after taking Lingzhi polysaccharide, they pass out a lot of urine, whether the urine inside have involved in this group 9 and urate transporter or not. They do this analysis, and they found that, yeah, the Lingzhi polysaccharide actually significantly decreased group 9 expression. The chart D, D you can see, it shows group 9 expression, right? And then E shows the uric 1 expression, which is the difference is not very great, right? And then when you look at the chart F, you'll find that OAT1 also was significantly higher than control at a higher dosage of 50, medium to high dosage. So in the sense that it's all dose dependent manner. So what the study interpret the result of this unit transporter is that they feel that Lingzhi polysaccharide play a regulatory role in uric acid excretion by regulating the transporters. All right, instead of just opening up the transporter, they regulate and make sure that they don't overdone and they're not underdone. So when you overdone, you result in hyperuricemia. When you're under, you become a hyperuricemia, that kind of thing, so that it becomes balanced, stable. Okay. All right. Now we next look at whether any potential renal damage from this Lingzhi polysaccharide. Right. So they use a certain standard tubular damage score, right? They found that the induced hyperuricemia mice show an increase in renal damage due to hyperuricemia, while Lingzhi polysaccharide show no difference from the control. That means it's like as though it's nothing happened, no hyperuricemia, where there's some damage in the hyperuricemia. Okay, chart A shows you like that, very minimal lah, no big deal, right? But when they measure the creatinine and the blood urea nitrogen level excreted by the kidney, these are people with severe kidney damage, right? Where you measure the creatinine and the bun level, right? So they find out that the creatinine and the blood urea level wasn't much of a difference. Of course, what this also tell you that, okay lah, hyperuricemia don't cause severe kidney damage. Right? After all, it's only 3 weeks of experiment. So maybe it don't show that much lah. The difference is still much. But imagine if you have hyperuricemia over a long period of time, the damage may be there, given that already the chart A shows that there is sign of some minor damages. So they use those histopathological diagrams to show actually P&O induced mice did have some damages. Right? The chart at the bottom right hand side, you can see that the third column on the right shows that P&O induced the damage showed up. Right? Whereas if you take Lingzhi on a dose-dependent basis, it improved tremendously. At a high dosage, it even go back to the control. It's as though that nothing had happened. But you take drug, like I mentioned at the introduction, there was some damages. Okay? Right? So now we come to the conclusion. Hyperuricemia, or in short, HUA, affects our health and involved in the pathogenesis of common chronic diseases. Chronic kidney disease is one of the case lah. Then the study showed that Lingzhi polysaccharide can reduce blood uric acid level in hyperuricemia, but on a dose-dependent manner, right? By reducing uric acid production and increasing uric acid excretion. That means increasing more urine. So at the same time, Lingzhi polysaccharide can reduce the damage caused by hyperuricemia. Right? The study therefore concluded that Lingzhi polysaccharide can be used as an anti-hyperuricemia drug, as it can regulate your uric acid production and excretion. Right? So it's a potential therapeutic agent to take over allopurinol, flexible site, or that kind of thing drug. So you have to take a high dosage, it can help. Right? Okay, with this I end my sharing. Thank you very much.